Quack, quack. You get it? You get it? Because the turkey didn't want the hunter to realize he was a turkey. Because it was Thanksgiving. Quack, quack.
Everybody
laugh. What is it? Quack.
Everybody laugh.
What kind of an animal says quack, quack? Duck, right? Yeah, he wanted to think he's a duck. All right. All right, I gotta get, this is a good one. Why did they let the turkey join the band? Because he had his own drumsticks. All right. Okay, you're going to love this one, I promise. All right. What do you call a running turkey? A running turkey. Fast food. Okay, I got a real laugh on that one. All right, here we go. Why did the turkey cross the road on Thanksgiving? Close, because he wanted people to think he was a chicken. All right. Two more. How come the turkey didn't eat dinner? A lot of things coming out the boys section.
Thomas,
how come the turkey didn't eat dinner? Because he was already stuffed. All right, here's the last one, my favorite. What did the turkey say to the computer? Google. All right, there's some good jokes. All right, listen. Speaking of Thanksgiving, Miss Kathy, come on up here real quick. Listen, we want to be thankful for a lot of stuff this year, but I want you to especially give it up and thank this lady, Miss Kathy Rich.
No, it's all about you. It's all about you. It's nothing about me. It really isn't. Thank you, but no. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys something. Who has the better jokes? Yeti, Mr. Malone, or Mr. Josh? Okay, is it Yeti? How many's going for Yeti? How many's going for Mr. Malone? How many's going for Mr. Josh?
Yeah! All right.
Mr. Josh, you have won the popular vote. So there you go.
Thank you, Kendall.
All right.
And my daughter's in here, that helps.
I thought you did a pretty good job. Okay, and I love the fast food one. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, and here's the thing. This one right here cannot tell a joke at all. All right, but guess what? Since you're up here, it's time for welcome. So why don't you help me out?
Okay, sure.
It's time for us to call Polly. Are we going to all call Polly together? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe a little louder. 1, 2. Okay. Did Polly and Yeti go on vacation together? Okay, here's the thing. Here's the real deal. They kind of need to let us know these things because we didn't know. And now what are we going to do? Because now I'm just standing here thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said Mr. Josh.
I
like that.
Look at here now. Look at here now. All right, so Mr. Josh will help us today. Mr. Josh, we're going to do the rules first.
Okay.
Do you remember the rules?
Do I remember the rules?
Uh-huh.
I know something about not picking your nose or something like that.
Of course, all the guys remember that. But here's the real deal. You and I do not have to know them quite as
Miss
well.
Kathy, you do know it's Thanksgiving this week, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay.
You got any plans?
Kinda. Why? You're making me nervous.
I'm just wondering.
You're just curious.
Yeah. You going anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
You having Thanksgiving here?
At my house.
At your house. Nice.
There you go. What are you doing?
Oh, we're having Thanksgiving here too.
At your house?
Literally right here.
Here.
In the other room. Yep.
Oh, all sides of your family come together up here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, hey,
and we invite people from all sorts of places.
Maybe I could just sneak in and get a chair, and then I wouldn't have to cook. But no, my kids are coming over. Not all of my kids, because Julie and Jeremy are going to Virginia to be with his family. And I think that is so great. Julie Rich is so excited to get together. But anyway, okay, rule time.
Well, who else is going to be there?
Austin and Carter.
Okay.
And my daughter-in-law, Brianna. So it will be the 4 of us. But then, after Thanksgiving meal, we get our phones. Austin cuts on the Jackbox game thingy on TV, and we play games all afternoon. It is so much fun. We love games. Do y'all like games? Yeah! Let me McDonald's.
Really?
No, we're not. No. We're gonna have ham. Carter has a smoker that where you smoke the meat. Mr. Jeremy's got one. Carter's gonna do like 2 chickens, since there's not many of us, and then I'm cooking twice baked potato casserole, green beans, some kind of dessert, and I don't remember what else. It's all written down. That's what we're gonna have.
Sounds good.
Are you eating
Something
turkey
smells
and
like it's
dressing?
smoking now.
You know what it smells like? It's that thing right there. Lean over, see if there's something coming out. Nothing's coming out?
I think we're all right.
All right, okay. Hey, rules. Now, I'm going to call on people that we do not call on all the time, because some people get called on all the time, so I'm going to get you to put your hands down. Not going to do any good. I'm going to start off with Mr. Hunter Hicks. Give us a rule. Pull your mask just long enough to speak. You and Mr. Josh, you two remember the 2 gross rules. What is it with eyes? I don't get it. Don't get sick. If you go throw up in Junior, I'm going to be...
I've already gone to Junior once today.
Yeah, you just stay way over there.
Okay, I feel a lot better
Way over there. I don't even want to think about it. Look at Lindsay. Lindsay's like, let me back my chair up. All right, Lindsay, give us a rule. You don't ever get... Oh,
You didn't tell me your favorite, though.
my favorite what?
Dessert yeah, your favorite dessert. What's your favorite dessert?
I don't really know. You know what? He kind of keeps interrupting and changing the topic, and he's
I'm
just
just
keeping...
worried about I've been talking about Thanksgiving ever since even my jokes were about Thanksgiving.
Lindsay, let's give him the rule about stuff like that. What's that rule? Don't interrupt while the teacher's talking.
Thank you, because I've been wanting to talk about Thanksgiving, and you keep interrupting when I'm trying to talk about Thanksgiving.
Hey, that smoke is not a yes for him now. You guys up there. Okay, I won't interrupt. Now, Amber, give us a rule. Do you know a rule? I can't hear you. Pull your... All 6 feet on the ground. Do we know what that is? 4 chair feet, 2 feet. How about that? You didn't know you had 2 feet. Let's see here.
How does a smoker work? I mean, is that the smoker?
I hope Yeti. No, teasing. I don't know how a smoker works. I don't have one.
It sounds good.
It does. You could get Mr. Jeremy to explain it. He knows all about it.
Okay, Jeremy, you want to come up here and help us
Mr.
understand
Jeremy, come up here and tell us how
how a smoker works?
We have a microphone right here. Why don't you just come on down here? I have got Mr. Jeremy had us all over to eat one night. Oh my gosh. It was like the best food ever. It was really good. Is he coming or is he? He's not coming.
I mean, I could get it later if you
He could get it later. Okay, do we have another rule while we have just a split?
Do you think I can come next time Jeremy cooks?
I will be sure and invite you. Mr.
Okay.
Jeremy, next time you do it, we got to invite
Maybe
Mr.
after
Josh.
church? What are y'all doing after church? Is he cooking after church?
I'm going to Red Robin. Where are you going after church?
Not going to Jeremy's. Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to Jeremy's. I'm going to Red Robin. I'm going with our secretary, Miss Cheryl. Ellen, give me a rule. That's a big one. When Polly is here, you don't share your candy with Polly. But what kind of candy does Polly eat? Who wants to tell us something that Polly eats?
I wonder
Benjamin?
what Polly would taste like for Thanksgiving.
Oh, Mr. Josh, that's just wrong. Did y'all hear that? He wonders what Polly would taste like for Thanksgiving. We're going to put him in we don't have a naughty corner, but we may have to come up with one. Mr. Benjamin, what does Polly like to eat? Chocolate-covered crickets.
Yeah, I do too. Pretty good. You've never had chocolate-covered crickets? Where have you been your whole life?
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe the next time we know that Polly's here, we'll have Polly bring some, and he can give them to Mr. Josh and share them right here on stage so Mr. Josh can eat them. What do y'all think? I think it's a great idea myself. Do we have You don't know either. Avery. Oh, there we go. Have fun. Mr. Josh is having fun.
I'm already having fun.
I'm telling you, he's having fun.
I'm a rule follower, and I am having lots of fun.
He is a rule follower. Yes, he is. Who's way over there? Grace.
Keep your distance.
Keep your distance. I'm trying to keep my distance from him because he's already been to junior today. Don't want to be near Mr. Josh. Benjamin, give it to me. Oh yeah, wear your mask at all times as I'm telling him to pull it down the top. I think that may be I think that may be it for the day. Are we going to do the song?
No.
Who said no? Give me one of your WAK Zone bucks back. We're gonna do the song for Polly. Everybody on the floor. Now listen to me. Wear your mask while you're singing. It's very important to keep them on while you're singing. Now, we want to be so super loud that Miss Mandy comes up here and says, shh, you're gonna wake those babies. Okay, can we be that loud? Can you? Cover your mouth, Avery. Can you be that loud? Yeah, that's pretty loud right there. Now, here we go. We're gonna sing Polly the Parrot all together now.
Long ago the ocean floor, treasure was found and dragged ashore. They opened a lid and what did they see? Quarters of prizes for you and for me. You're amazing.
Good job. All right, before we're completely finished with welcome this morning, Mr. Josh, we have some people, and this is their first time in here ever. So, Miss Sue, will you take the microphone? And we're going to have them come down, and if you'll find out their name and their age, and just anything you want to ask them, you can. If you've never been in here before, stand up. Just stand up. There you go. Ellie J and Reagan's never been in here. Y'all are just going to come stand right here. You don't have to do anything. Avery, would you, there you go. Kendall, you stand down there with them. Stand in between, there you go. All right, Kendall's going, you'll lead the welcome in a minute since you're down there. All right, here we go.
So we're going to start off with finding out what your name is.
Faith.
Hey, how old are you, Faith?
7.
What school do you go to?
Southside.
Well, we're so glad you're here today. Anything else I need to ask?
I don't think so, but I happen to know Faith's mom, and I know her grandparents, and her aunt and her uncle, and she's related to Braden. So that's some nifty trivia for you.
Today. And what is your name?
LJ.
Well, honey, Jay, we're glad you're here today. Can you tell us how old you are?
4.
4. So you're not in school yet, are you? You're in preschool?
She goes to school with her mommy, I think. Yeah.
More Academy.
There you go.
Wonderful. And
Reagan.
Ray, how old are you?
5.
You're 5 already, so you're in kindergarten this year? No, not yet. Okay, but tell me what you do go to a school.
I can't read.
Y'all remember the name?
She may go to school with mommy as well. Are you done? Oh, she doesn't. Okay. Okay. Well, her brother is Jacob, sitting over there, like he's just like, I'm here now.
Milford family's all here.
All righty.
Here today.
Now, in a minute, someone from the praise team will be bringing you a treasure box. Kendall, what's in the treasure box? Candy. Yippee. So you'll put the treasure boxes under your chair. Kendall, I'm going to let you lead them three. I'm going to let you lead them in the welcome because I can't do it. So here we go. All eyes on, oh, that's right, on your feet. And all eyes on Kendall. Very good. All right, here comes the goodies. Now, let me tell you something. If Mr. Josh offers to kind of like check your little treasure box out for you, make sure he doesn't stick his little fingers in there to grab something. So you gotta be mindful. Okay? All right, thank you for coming, and put your treasure boxes under your seats, and you'll have all kinds of goodies. So, the next thing we have, I know they know. Who do we see next? What's up with Mr. James? We love Mr. James, right? How many fifth graders are out here today? Jacob, you're fifth. You the only one tonight? Guess what? This time next year, he'll be with Mr. James. And guess what? In a few years, each one of you will be with him too. He's the best. Okay, here we go. What's up?
What's up, West Stickers kids? Happy Sunday again. And what's up? Got a good one for you today. It is this. Your what's up is the most important thing in life is a relationship with Jesus. And that is so true. As someone who has been a believer since the age of 7, I can tell you the most important thing in my life is my relationship with Jesus. Students, or kids, sorry, I talk to my students all the time. Kids, cling to Jesus. Make that the most important thing in your life. I'm telling you, Jesus is there in the highs, he's there in the lows. And if I did not have Jesus in a relationship with me, I don't know where I would be. But it is the most important thing to life. So when someone says, what's up? Tell them truthfully from your heart that the most important thing in life is to know Jesus, a relationship with him. So hey, love Jesus, cling to Jesus, and hold on to that relationship. And if you don't have it, ask Miss Kathy, ask Mr. Jesse, talk to somebody, reach out. We love you. Have a good Sunday. What's up?
What's up, guys? I am Tyler, and welcome back to our 4th episode of Rewind. Rewind is a show where we scour the internet looking for the most awesomest viral videos, and we show them to you, our loyal viewers. So let's get this thing started. Today we will be playing a game called Add to Cart or Save for Later.
Add to cart or save for later.
That's right, I am gonna show you some of the coolest unboxing and toy reviews ever, and then I'm gonna be faced with the decision. Do I add that item to my cart and buy it, or save it for later? Make sense? Let's do this. Video number 1, check it out. Oh man, it is an entire armory of Nerf guns. I think he has every Nerf gun ever made. I think he has the rocket launcher, a fireman's pole.
Oh, look at all those jars.
I've never seen so much ammo in my whole life. That video blew my mind. I didn't even know that one person could have that many Nerf guns legally. Maybe I should sell my car and put all of that money towards Nerf guns. All right, yeah, for sure. Add that to cart. Let's check out the next video. An iBook? What is that, like a Kindle or something? This computer's 18 years old? None of you were even born yet. There's no way this thing still works. It has an intro video? My iPhone doesn't even have that. Whoa, it looks so old. Who has CDs anymore anyway? Do you guys even know what CDs are? You know what CD stands for? Probably not. That was pretty crazy. That is an 18-year-old computer, and it's never been opened before. But, I mean, my phone has at least like 30 times that kind of processing power. So I like it. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I definitely would not buy one. So I'm gonna save that for later. Let's check out the next video. Oh, is this a cool lunchbox or something? It is a giant gummy worm. Ah, he's making them trade for it. Smart kid. Supply and demand, baby. I don't know who left a child with a knife unsupervised or who's giving them a gummy worm this big. Oh, they have so many flavors. Orange and blue raspberry, lemon and orange, green apple and red cherry. All right, well, I mean, that definitely was the world's largest gummy worm. That thing was over 2 feet long. He said it had like 4,000 calories. That's insane. That's basically enough food to feed you for like 2 whole days straight. I mean, you will definitely get sick and probably throw up, but you know, it's still better than nothing. Add that to my cart. Boom! Here we go.Moving on, next video. Ooh, okay, this is an unboxing video. Looks like Legos, maybe? Oh! Millennium Falcon Star Wars set? Okay, so it says 16 and up for the age, but this kid's only 10, so this is illegal. You cannot legally operate this Lego ship if you're under the age of 16. That is so many pieces. That's stressing me out. Guys, I am so torn on this one. That Lego set is one of the most amazing kits I've ever seen. I mean, come on. They said this thing has like 7,541 pieces. Man, but I have to think practically. Number one, would I even have time to build this thing? And number two, I feel like it would cost a lot of money. Let me see how much. Oh, okay. Yeah, no way. Are you serious? This thing is $800. I mean, I like it. It's super cool, but I think I'm definitely gonna have to save this one for later. Strictly for budget reasons. Okay, moving on. Next video. Greedy gamer. Nice wake up stretch. Ooh, cool keyboard. You can't go to church because you're winning a game? Come on, Julian. You know what time it is. Who's this? Entrance to heaven. A man in a Prius is picking her up for heaven? Okay. Oh, she's bringing games. What do we got? Guitar Hero, Top Gun, Super Smash Bros? Nice. Oh, she's bringing a lot. A box and a full bag. What'd you forget? She lost all of it. Oh. Okay, so if I'm understanding this video correctly, you're telling me I can't take any of my cool toys or video games to heaven? Wow, I never really thought about that. And that's sort of what this whole episode was about. It's about if I would rather buy something or not buy something. The more I do think about it though, material things and things that we try to store up here on earth don't really matter that much. This reminds me of the parable of the wealthy man. In this parable, Jesus tells the story of a rich man who had had a successful and fertile farm, and it had more crops than he could even hold, right? And he decided to tear down all the barns and build even bigger ones so he could live a life of luxury. And he could rest easy knowing that he was set up for success for the rest of his life. But God came to the man and told him, "You fool, you will die this very night. And then who's gonna get everything that you've worked for?" It's foolish to store up wealth and live for success on earth because none of that is gonna matter when we go to heaven. It's much better to spend our time on earth deepening your relationship with Christ. Through this parable, Jesus explains the dangers of living for the world rather than for heaven. Having a relationship with Jesus is way more important than anything we could ever have or do or buy. Our relationship with him is way more important than our most favorite toy or video game. The Bible tells us when it's our time to go to heaven, we'll not be able to take anything with us. So our most important priority on earth should be growing in our relationship with Jesus. There's no need to worry about what we may leave behind because heaven will be way better than anything we could ever imagine simply because we'll be living with Jesus. He promises to love and care for us forever, and that is something I can add to my cart. All right, guys, we are just about done here. We will see you next week on another episode of Rewind. Okay, bye.
Lift me up, stand me stare when it's high, Lord. I know you're on my side. You send me out to be your witness with power from on high. I draw all I need from you. I have all I need in you. I know I belong to you. I know I belong, I know I belong. I know I belong to you. I know I belong. Come alive in presence. You hold me in your hands. My strength and spirit. You're the vine and I'm the branch. I draw all I need from you. I have all I need in you. I stare when it's high, Lord. I know you're on my side. You send me out to be your witness with power from on high. I draw all I need from you. I have all I need in you. I know I belong to you. I know I belong. I come alive in presence. You hold me in your hands. My strength and spirit. You're the vine and I'm the branch. I draw all I need from you. I have all I need in you. I know I belong to you. I know I belong. I come alive in presence. You hold me in your hands. My strength and spirit. You're the vine and I'm the branch. I draw all I need from you. I have all I need in you. I know I belong to you. I know I belong to you.
Stories of the Bible. The parable of the wealthy man. This is Jesus,
Heyo!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love. He healed many people from their sickness, performed many miracles like calming storms, and even raised people from the dead.
Wahoo!
One day, a crowd gathered around Jesus to hear him talk. The crowd was so big that people were stepping on each other.
Hey, watch it!
Jesus was talking to his disciples when someone called out from the crowd,
Hey, Jesus!
"Teacher, tell my brother to divide with me the property our father left us."
Hold on there.
Jesus said, "Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that? Be careful and guard against all kinds of greed. A man's life is not measured by the many things he owns."
Huh?
Then he told them a story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, "What should I do? I don't have room for all my crops."
I got it.
Then he said, "I know.
I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, you will die this very night.
Wait, what?
Then who will get everything you worked for? Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God.
Hey, you guys have just been participating so well today. Thank you for that. Because here's the thing, you're not doing it for us. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for God. Because that's the thing, when we're in worship, we are here to worship Him and to praise Him. And let me tell you something. He likes it when He can look down here and see us. Because here's the thing. None of us are too cool for Jesus. You have some people that think, that's kid stuff. That's not true. None of us are ever too old and too cool for Jesus. Because if you got Jesus, you don't need anything else. Now, you know how I do my lesson and I just get mixed up and I get confused? I've tried to make really good notes today because we're doing another parable today, okay? So, I want you to think about something, alrighty? Think about what heaven may look like. There will be beautiful places to live up there, won't there? What will the streets be made of? Could you imagine walking on gold? I mean, just walking on it? Because here on earth, we like to get gold, so we will be more wealthy, okay? And that's kind of some of what we're talking about. There's going to be really great worshiping in heaven. I mean, we're going to really get to see Jesus. I mean, like, see Him. It's just going to be cool. And then I think about, who am I going to talk to when I'm up there? I really want to talk to Mary, the earthly mother of Jesus. I just really want to sit down with her and have a conversation with her because it's just going to be the coolest thing ever. But here's the thing. We have a lot of people here that think this is the best there is. We're going to have more here than anywhere because they don't really want to have a relationship with Jesus, or they're too greedy to want to give up things in order to be a Christian, okay? Just because we're a Christian doesn't mean we can't have things, but most Christians, once we are grounded in the Word and grounded in Jesus, to us, earthly things are not near as important to us as it is to a lot of other people, because the thing that's important to us, and I'm going to tell you what's important to me, it's my daily walk with Jesus. That's it. That's all I care about. I want Him to be my very, very, very best friend. And I know He's with me at all times as long as I will stay with Him, as long as I don't walk away from Him. But there's an awful lot of people that think, no, you've got to have tons and tons of stuff here, kind of like the guy in the parable. He didn't think that all of this stuff that he could be storing in these new barns, Zach, let's not do that, please, love. He didn't think that all this stuff that he was storing in these barns, it could have gone bad. And then there's poor people there who could have used help. Do you think it would have been good for him to help them? Yeah. Is it good for us to help others? It is, but here's the thing. Sometimes people ask for help that really don't need the help. They just don't want to work, or they don't want to do things, and they just want you to give it to them. But here's the thing. We don't really know who they are. So anytime I'm in the stores will collect for charities a lot. When I'm at a store checking out, if they are taking up money for a charity, I always give. Around the holidays, every time I go in the grocery store, I buy one of the meals at the cash register for these families. Because my thing is this, I am so blessed. God has given me so much. If I can't buy one extra meal, then I should be ashamed of myself. But that's what works for me. It doesn't work for other people. But then you've got some people, they're like, I'm not spending that money on somebody else. I'm going to take that money and put it in the bank. I may need it. And God does not want us to basically put money and possessions in front of Him. And I'm not saying people that save do that. I save money. I do. But it's not that super important for me. I save money that way when I'm really old and I may not be able to take care of myself. I don't want to have to go live with my kids. So I figure, hey, if I got a little bit of money, maybe I can do something else and I don't have to go live with them because they don't want to go live with them. But here's the thing. In the parable, when the guy built all of these bigger barns, those barns that's a symbol of abundance. That was the symbol to show that this man had a lot. He was very, very wealthy. So let's think about this. If you could have any amount of money in the world, whether it be $1 or $1 million, think, how much money would you want to have? Think about it. I'm going to give you a second to think I'm going to give you a second to think how much money you think you would like to have. No. What we're going to do, I'm just going to ask 3 or 4 people. Don't raise your hands. Don't raise your hands. If you raise your hand, I'm not calling on you. I'm just going to randomly pick a few people, and I'm just going to ask you, how much money would you want to have? Grace, how much money? $2,000. All righty. Trip, how much money? $50? Okay. Faith, how much money would you like to have? $100. Okay, so $50, $100, $2,000. Miss Pat Wycka, if you could have any amount of money in the world, how much would you have? Just enough. All right, Miss Sue? It is a good answer. But I think a lot of people may think, ooh, I'd have $1 million, because a lot of times we think the more we have. Okay, Grace, what would you get with your money? If you could get anything, what would you get? One thing. Wow, an orphanage. Okay, now, there we go. Trip, what would you get with your money? Listen to you guys. Faith, what would you get? Would you get a present for yourself or maybe your mom? Food. There you go. Okay. Here's the thing though. A lot of people will think of what they can get. I have a relative and he's got more money than I've got. He does. And he works hard for that money. But this is what he truly, truly believes in his heart. Because we were told this by him. If you are not wealthy, then you're not living for God. Because God wants every one of us here on earth to be rich. So if you're not wealthy, then you're not living correctly for God. And when I heard that, I was so disappointed and so hurt for him by saying that. Because I'm thinking, you're so blinded. Because God does not want us all to be super wealthy and rich, because that's not what it's about. He wants us to be super wealthy and rich in our relationship with Him. Because like Miss Pat and Miss Sue said, just enough. Because if you have just enough, then you have everything you need. Okay? Because I was thinking the other day, if I could sell my house, sell my car, buy any house I wanted, any car I wanted, I love my house. Okay, I could have a nicer car, I'm not gonna say I couldn't. But you know what? It's paid for, and it drives me to and from church, so I don't need anything else. Because if I had this really big, nice car, well, it'd cost me more in insurance. So you can tell I'm old, because I think of the negative sides of some of this stuff. Because I've learned it's not the most important things. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That is the most important thing. But, okay, wait a minute, I just covered that. I'm getting lost again. Now, do you think we should save money? Because, the Bible talks about, right in here, not to store up. Should we save? How many think we should save some money? Okay, how many think we shouldn't save any money? We should just spend it, not work. Okay, I just told you guys, I do save, but I'm not stingy with my money. I try not to spend every amount of money I have each week because I may need it for something. Like yesterday, I'm in my kitchen, I'm gonna wash some dishes. It's craziness, but I love to wash dishes. It's just therapy for me. It's just the craziest thing. But I'm waiting for the water to get hot, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, okay, my hot water heater decided it did not want to heat water anymore. And I'm like, looks like I might have to buy me a hot water heater today. And I'm thinking, I wasn't counting on that this month. So I called my son, and he's like, oh, I was just thinking about you. I'm like, well, I'm really glad you were, because. And he came over, and he was able to, it has a reset button on it, and I didn't know these things. So it cost me no money to replace that. But if I had spent all my money in the bank, and then it did have to be replaced, how would I pay for it? I wouldn't have any money. I wouldn't have any money at all. So I think we're just not supposed to be stingy and store up everything we have. We're to be generous. We're to help people, because people do need help. I like to do meals for people. If I have friends that have had surgeries or sicknesses or something, because I just love to cook. So I like to cook meals and take to them. Well, that takes a little bit of my extra money to do that. So I do need to keep a little bit of money set aside. And I'm quite sure there are things you guys like to do for others. And just because you want to do something for somebody, it doesn't always involve money. You could go and rake leaves, and if you go rake leaves for somebody and they have a lot of leaves, you'll have to do what I used to do. You rake the leaves into this big old pile, and then you run and you jump, and you can just do it over and over and over again, and it's just like the most amount of fun in the world. Because when I was your age, I would go to my grandmother's house, my cousin and I. We would rake the leaves, and we would jump in them. We just thought it was great. That's just a little side note there for you. But anyway, all right, here we go. Now, people here on earth that are like really high in business, who? Like CEOs and doctors, and there's a lot of people that have really, really nice jobs, and they like their titles. It's important to them to say that, I don't know, I can't think of anything right now. They could say, I'm the CEO of, name a company. I can't think of any companies. To who? I can't hear you. Walmart, there you go. Hey, there you go. Walmart, pretty big store. So don't you know that whoever the CEO for Walmart, don't you think they probably feel like, man, I'm all right? Well, I will admit, I would. But some people put that as the importance in their life instead of what they can do for Jesus. So, who would like to share one thing that they can do this week to maybe help someone else? Do we have anybody? All right, Miss, you pull your mask down when you speak. All right, Miss Emma, what's something you could do? porch filled with snacks because I do not like to go to the store and go shopping. But I love to shop on the computer. I have packages delivered to my house at least 3 or 4 days a week. I even keep a red trash can out there, and I have the note, please put the packages in the trash can. And they pile them in the trash can, and I keep my little basket of snacks, and the note says, and be sure and grab a snack. Oh, they love me. But I'm thinking, they bring me a lot of packages, so I try to give them a little thank you. And if I can catch them, I give them little gift cards as a thank you for bringing so many packages to my house. All right, Grace, what you got? Hey, you can drop them off at Mountains. That's a really good, who likes to make cookies? Okay, who likes to get surprises like that? Could you imagine opening your door and somebody standing there saying, I've got cookies for you? Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be kind of fun. It sure would. Okay, who's got something else we can name? We got anybody? Nobody? All right, Thomas, you gotta have something. Come on, there's nothing you can think of? Well, what about this? Haven't you got a new baby at home? Maybe you can help, maybe your mom would do an extra cleaning up and then cleaning up it. Isn't that a word? Cleaning up it. You can clean it up in the kitchen. Well, then there's your answer. You don't have to give them anything. Just doing something for someone. It is just so nice to do something. I got a phone call at the store the other night, and it was from a neighbor, and I answered the phone, and she said, Kathy, I've got some really bad news. Well, the man across the street from me died the week before. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder if his roommate died. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, my mom backed into your mailbox. I said, oh, good grief. I thought you were going to tell me somebody died. So I get home that night, and my mailbox is like, whoop, all the way over here. And a guy came by the house yesterday dropping off some stuff for my daughter's wedding, and I was just talking to him, and I said, oh, my neighbor's mom hit my mailbox. And he goes, oh, well, here, let me. And he just goes over there, and he just fixes the whole thing right there in front of me. I didn't ask him to do that, but he did that for me right on the spot. That was so nice of him to do that. I just thought that was so sweet, and he didn't even think about it. He just did it. And I think that's good that we can do things like that for people, because is this what Jesus wants us to do? Yeah. Because that's kind of what he does for us, isn't it? Every single solitary day, he does things for us. And I've got a friend right now, she's having a hard time seeing a little bit of Jesus. She's a believer, but she's just got some things going on in her life. And it's just really hard for her right now. And she has been calling me and calling me and calling me. And I've tried to help her and tried to help her. Well, the next thing I know, I'm getting pulled down into it. I was beginning to feel a little bit like her. She was beginning to rub off on me. And that's the thing. It's so easy for us to do that. So I had to step back. I finally went in my room. I got down on my knees. And I just started talking to Jesus, and I just had me a come to Jesus meeting right there, because I thought I am slipping and sliding, and I can't. So, but I'm so thankful that Jesus allowed me to see what I was doing, because had I not done that, had I not seen it, it may not be good. But see, he loves us, and he cares for us, and he's going to show us how to keep our eyes on him. So when you're having a really bad day, things aren't going good, just think about that. Just think, wait a minute, it is bad. It is no fun. But Jesus, I kind of need some help. He will be there. He truly will. Every day, no matter what, he will be there. And of course, short lesson again this week, because it is the parables. But I think these have been good lessons. Now, next week, we will not be in here. You're going to be in the sanctuary with Mom and Dad. Okay? Yes, ma'am? We're going to do the offering in just a minute after I pray. But, so next week down there, but in December, we're back in here. But I'm going to pray. We are going to do the offering. Then we're going to do questions. And I just came up with questions today. And there's 19 of you. There's 15 brain drain questions. But I bought Bible trivia. This way, I don't have to think of questions. So everybody gets a question. You're going to get a trip to the treasure box, but when you come, you're going to have to go fast, fast, fast. Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you. Yeah, we're going to pick names. Don't let me forget. Okay? So, everybody, we're going to pray right now. This is our time in talking to God. We don't do anything but think of God. Okay? Here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, what another beautiful day you've given us. And Lord Jesus, thank you for allowing Mr. Josh to come in with us. He is such a godly man and one of the pastors of this church. And Father, you have blessed this church with the best group of pastors. I just love watching these pastors. They all are like-minded. They keep their eye on you. They follow in your footsteps, and they lead us in such a godly way. We are so blessed to have the pastoral staff that we do. I want to pray for each and every family that's here today. I want to pray for a great week for each family. I want to pray for their Thanksgiving, because no, this is not a religious holiday, Jesus, but it's a family holiday. And Father, you instituted the family. And so I just want to pray for all of the families as they come together and they celebrate together. I want to pray for Pastor Larry as he's home recovering from his surgery. I want to pray for all on our prayer list. We have so many. You know the reason why every name is on that list. And I just pray for comfort for each and every person on that list. And I'll pray for a great week that we may come back next week. In Christ's name, amen.